Hey, what's up everyone? I chose this as the background because it is a ghost or a spirit, whichever you want to call it, which there are differences, but I'll get into that for another video. You've got the different definitions from residual to intelligent to different types of spirits, whether good or bad, and then there's the difference between that and apparitions of ghosts and all of that, but there's differences, but I'll get into that for another video. First, I want to share about the fact that activity has been on the rise. I've been hearing someone walk into the kitchen. I've been hearing someone walk into the house. Movements happening, knocking noises, things like that. Mostly just kind of seemingly benevolent, I think. Just there, observing or being there without really bothering. The cat sees them. She goes in there and then they just stop. But I wanted to get into the fact about my cousin. Now, I had a feeling since she was young that there was some kind of a connection that she had. She had an energy about her, and I knew it. I've told my parents that. I didn't know whether or not they would believe that, so I never really discussed that with them, with my aunt or her daughter. But I knew that my cousin, I knew she had this energy about her. She had a connection. She's like myself, a natural something. That's all I can say. And because she would have strange dreams, she would sometimes confide those and tell me about those a little bit and have conversations about it. And she wanted so badly to talk to me. And so she and I would have conversations outside my Nana's house or outside of her house and just kind of talk a little. But those conversations never went too far about anything personal that she dealt with spirit-wise. All she would ever say is there's definitely spirits in here or ghosts, or have a conversation or two about the paranormal activity, which I've shared in past videos, where when she stayed at this elderly person's home, there was a strange dungeon room she discovered that they had down in there. She said, yeah, that was creepy enough. And she said the elderly person told her that don't be surprised if you hear anything. And the dog that she was staying with the dog went to the door and followed something to the door, started growling and barking and barking and barking and barking. Then she said, if you hear someone up there, it's just the guests, don't bother them, it's just the spirit guests. Well, she heard walking upstairs, and she heard movements, and no one was there. Well, fast forward to months later, and around Christmas time, I told her, I said, I can see it. I said, it's in you, whether you like it or not. She said, but I don't want it. She was like, I don't want it to be. What if I want to live a regular life? I was like, it's just in you. And she's like, go away, leave me alone. And I said, well, I was like, it's just, you've got it whether you know it or not. I can see it. Well, fast forward to now, from Christmas time. Fast forward 5 months later. She's telling stories to her mother, and then her mother shared with my daddy. So she shared about the paranormal and supernatural activity they've both been dealing with, and that she deals with when my cousin is around her mother, which would be my aunt. When she's around her mother deals with the activity when she's leaving or when she's there, and it's just really ramped up lately, where the TV volume will turn all the way up and down, or mute suddenly. And there's nothing that, by the way, that's my Twitter handle up there that you see. If anyone wants to check that out, that is my Twitter handle. Popped up. I got a notification. But she deals with paranormal and supernatural activity on a regular basis now. TV volume turning up and down, up and down. She actually had to unplug it. And then my cousin told her mom, what did I tell you? Well, then she was telling stories about how at work, at this restaurant, and they set up all the chairs. She works at Panera, and they set up all the chairs. They were ready to go home. They were ready to leave. And all of a sudden they hear, she said they hear a chair scoot. One of the chairs in the other room scooted. And then she said, did you hear that? She said, "Yeah, I did. Yep." And the boss said, "Did you set up all the chairs? You put up all the chairs, didn't you?" She went, "We put up all the chairs." And my cousin said, "Yeah, we did. Yes, we did." One of the chairs had been laying on the ground and scooted out after they put up all the chairs on top of the table for closing. Then, more paranormal activity happens. 3 bagels get thrown at her head and hit her in the back of the head. And her friend was like, "Dude, did you literally just see that?" The co-worker saw it. The boss is beginning to see the paranormal / supernatural activity that happens around her. And she's dealing with that on a regular basis now. Seeing things, and she's hearing things, knocking, moving footsteps, things moving on her, things playing tricks on her, and things like that. And she's dealing with the paranormal / supernatural activity on a regular basis now. Which makes me wonder if she ever thinks back to when I told her, it's gonna happen. It's in you regardless. And you're gonna experience things. You're gonna see and hear things. And it makes me wonder if she ever thinks about me telling her that. I don't know if she does or not, but I did say that around Christmas time. And again, in probably late January. So yeah, she's been experiencing a lot of paranormal / supernatural activity around her. She also tried to talk to me about dreams she'd had about the Native American Indian things, but she didn't feel like anyone else understood. But I didn't want to sound too crazy, so I didn't go into much detail. But I just thought I would share that she has similar experiences to myself that I experience. So we're very similar in that regard. So I feel like we're both something. That she and I are both something similar, connected to a similar thing. That there's something more than what she realizes that she is. That's the way I've always felt. And she's now, after I stated what I did, she's now experiencing the same things that I have gone through and do go through. And then Daddy started talking to her about the reptilian thing I've experienced and the spirits and the paranormal / supernatural things that happen around me. He said he doesn't experience things unless he's around me most of the time. And then my aunt said that's the way it is with her daughter, with my cousin. She said she doesn't experience a lot of it unless she's around. So both of us must be chosen for something. So both of us seem to experience similar things. Both my uncles experienced some strange things too. One of them is the paranormal, and the other one is the interdimensional, supernatural, alien, interdimensional types of beings and stuff like that. That's what the other uncle experiences. The other one experiences the orbs and supernatural things, paranormal things. It's quite complex. But my cousin experiences things very similar to what I do. What do you think? Just decided to give decided to give my latest information, some news. Peace. Signing out. This is something that apparently she deals with and never has talked about much. Much love. Signing out.